everyone, welcome back to my channel. So the Chanel Classic Flap has always been what I consider to be my holy grail bag. I've wanted it since I was a teenager, and I told myself that once I made enough money that I was able to afford it, I would purchase one for myself. And long story short, I did get to a point in my life where I was able to buy one. And the first one that I bought was actually the black caviar medium classic flap with gold hardware. I didn't know that much about, Chanel back then. So eventually I realized that, oh, I made a mistake. I actually do not want the caviar one, I want the lambskin one. So I sold the caviar one, and then I purchased this one right here, which is that same bag, the medium classic flap in black with gold hardware, but the only difference is this one's in lambskin. And when I got this one, I was like, okay, this is going to be my forever bag. I'm never going to get rid of this one. I finally got it right. This bag is beautiful, and I still do think this is beautiful, but this is not a bag that I'm going to have forever because I'm going to be selling it. I still do absolutely love this bag. I mean, like, just looking at this bag on my shelf, I think it is absolutely stunning. But there's a few reasons why I just don't think it makes sense for me to have this in my collection anymore. The main reason is really because I don't use it anymore. When I first got this, I used it probably, I want to say, about once a month or so. Maybe not quite once a month. That seems like a lot. Like 12 times a year seems like a lot. But I used it like decently often. Back then, my bag collection was much smaller than it is now. So when I wanted, like a dressier bag, this one was the one that I gravitated towards. But the last time I used this bag was back in December of 2022. So that was over a year ago. And I feel like even that last time that I used it, I kind of forced myself to use it in a way, and I don't like having to force myself to use a bag. I have so many bags in my collection that, I want to be always reaching for a bag that I want to use. I don't want to have to feel like, oh, I haven't used this bag in a while, let me use it so I don't feel bad about having it in my collection. And I think that it was getting to a point where that was how I was feeling about this bag. And if it was any other bag, I think that would be like a big red flag right there. But this was kind of like different. It was hard for me to come to terms with the fact that this is not a bag that is for me personally, even though it is absolutely stunning. And the thing is, when I had a much smaller bag collection, it made sense to have just like one black bag that could kind of like do it all, in the sense of like, for dressier occasions, if I needed like a bag, this was it, because black goes with everything. And yes, back then I did kind of stick to like black bags or neutral bags, generally speaking. But if you have paid attention to my bag collection recently, that's not really like the color scheme that I necessarily go for now. Especially for like a special occasion bag, I usually go for lighter colors. Not to mention, I feel like my lifestyle is just kind of like getting more and more casual. I think it has to do with like just getting older, as well as where I live now. Like back when I lived in Manhattan, there was just like a lot more occasions for me to use a bag like this. Like back then, like I said, it was used maybe once a month or once every 2 months, which is quite a lot. But now I just, I don't grab for bags that don't have a crossbody option anymore. Like my preferred type of bag nowadays would be a bag that has a top handle as well as a detachable shoulder strap that I could just keep inside the bag when it's not in use. Yeah, it just doesn't really fit in with my lifestyle anymore. And even when I did that vlog sale last November, I was kind of contemplating like if I wanted to also sell this one too. I think even like all of last year I was kind of contemplating it, but it wasn't until now that I finally am ready to sell it. So I always kind of wait till I'm ready to sell something before I actually go and do it, because otherwise I might regret selling it. And you know, at the prices that these bags are going for now, new in stores, yeah, there's just no way I would buy another one at over 10,000 US dollars plus tax. And even pre-loved, I feel like it's really hard to find one for a good price. I am going to be selling this one for what I believe is a really good price. So if you're interested in buying this bag, I'll leave the price as well as like all the information you need to like reach out to me and pay and whatnot. I'll leave it all in the description box down below. But first I wanted to just, you know, talk in this video about like the condition of this bag. I will leave some extra photos up on the screen as I talk about it, to show, you know, the condition of the bag, because like I said, this is not a bag that I've just kept in the dust bag unused all this time. I have used it, so it's not like absolutely pristine. I would say that like the quilts are not quite as puffy as they were when I first purchased this bag. They still are pretty puffy, but it has deflated slightly. And also on the base of the bag as well as the inside, there are some scratches, which is to be expected because this is lambskin. There's probably some minor scratches on the hardware. That's kind of bound to happen also. And on the inside, there are some impressions on the leather from the zipper on the inside of the top flap, as well as like this snap button closure in here that has left sort of like an impression on the leather too. And then there is a little bit of like a crease line across the back at the top here where the flap opens. One of the major things that I actually only noticed recently about this is that on the back Mona Lisa pocket on the top left, right along this like top border right here, there is a little bit of wear on the leather because of like the leather rubbing against, you know, my clothes or whatever. So that's that. I don't see any corner wear, so that's fine. And yeah, it's not, you know, like absolutely in perfect condition, but I would say that it still looks really, really good for a 6.5-year-old bag. I think it still looks great. So yeah, this is going to be for sale, and I'm just going to be admiring this bag from afar from now on. And I'm also going to be lowering the price on another classic flap of mine that I have tried selling in the past, but it just hasn't sold. So that was actually the bag that my husband got for me a few years back. And I guess the price was too high, whatever. And at first he didn't want to lower the price. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But then we've kind of like agreed to try lowering the price and see if, you know, it's able to sell, because this is another bag that I haven't used in close to a year. I think the last time I used this was March of last year. And once again, I kind of had to force myself to use it. And yeah, this is like a purple iridescent calfskin leather. In certain angles, it has like a greenish quality to it, kind of like mermaid-like, and it has this kind of like gunmetal or ruthenium hardware. I don't know exactly the word that Chanel used to describe it. But yeah, I don't use this bag, and I don't want it to just like gather dust in my collection just for sentimental reasons. This is going to be for a great price because I do understand that, you know, it's harder to sell like colorful bags compared to like neutrals. This bag is also in great condition. There's just one little tiny scratch by this grommet on the front right. There's this one little tiny scratch in like the quilt that's like kind of directly underneath it. I'll show a close-up of that part of the leather, but it's so hard to even notice it. You only see it at certain angles. I don't even like see any other scratches on the leather on the outside. On the inside, there probably are some just because, you know, like you're putting your stuff in and whatnot. But on the outside, that's the only real scratch that I see. There is a little bit of wear on this back left corner right here. There's like a little bit of rubbing of the leather. There is that same crease along the back of the flap when you open it. There's those same impressions on the leather on the inside from the zipper, as well as the snap button closure. And this bag also is not as puffy as it was when I first got it, and you can see that like on a few of the quilts down here, as well as there's like one on the inside, actually two on the inside. Right about here, there's kind of like these creases in the leather where the quilts have kind of flattened a little bit. And that is all the wear and tear on this bag. Actually, I want to say that the chain has kind of left some little tiny impressions on the leather at the back right here too. And I think that is really it. Both of these bags are in great condition. I have taken very good care of them, and I never put my bags on the floor either, if that's something you're concerned about. So yeah, I really hope these bags go to better homes where they'll be loved and appreciated and used. Not that I don't appreciate these bags, but it's just that they're sitting on shelves right now, and that just makes me kind of like uncomfortable. And I think soon I probably will do a dedicated video talking about just kind of my thoughts on, you know, my collection now. I have been doing like a lot of decluttering around my home in general, not just with my luxury items, but like just, you know, trying to get rid of stuff around the house. It might have to do with the fact that Lunar New Year just, you know, passed, and I always kind of feel myself getting into like this cleaning mood right about now, but I feel like this year it's been a little bit more intense, and I'm kind of looking at my collection of just stuff and being like, do I really need all of this? So I'm going to kind of like do another video talking about this more. I don't necessarily think that it fits in with this video, and if I talked about it, it would be like crazy, insanely long. This video, I just wanted to focus on the Chanel Classic Flap specifically because it is such a special bag to me, but definitely my thoughts that I've discussed in this video is part of like a broader discussion. I'll probably do that video like in the next month or two, after I've had time to kind of like gather my thoughts, piece things together in like a cohesive manner so it actually makes sense to you guys when I talk about it, because right now it's just a bunch of like jumbled thoughts in my head right now. So yeah, that will be coming shortly, and that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below, how are you feeling about your luxury collection right now? And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do consider subscribing for lots more videos on luxury handbags, jewelry, and fashion. I'm never going to be getting rid of my luxury collection completely, so I will always be making content for this channel. And yeah, I'll leave 2 videos on the screen for you guys to watch next. So I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.